What if I told you that one of the most powerful health secrets in the world is sitting in your kitchen spice rack right now, and you've probably been ignoring it your entire life? Most Americans walk right past it every single day. They grab their coffee, their supplements, their expensive protein shakes, and they completely overlook this tiny little spice that ancient healers considered more valuable than gold. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not promoting a pill or a powder or a program. What I'm about to share with you costs almost nothing, and you probably already have it in your kitchen cabinet right now. But I have to warn you, what happened when I started chewing just 2 or 3 cloves every single morning completely changed the way I think about food, about health, and about my body. Stay with me until the end because I'm going to show you something that most doctors never even bring up in their offices. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside the bodies of millions of Americans right now. Right this very moment, over 130 million adults in the United States are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. That means nearly half of all American adults are walking around with blood sugar problems. And the terrifying part is that most of them have absolutely no idea. They feel tired in the afternoon and they blame it on being busy. They gain weight around their belly and they blame it on getting older. They wake up feeling foggy and exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep, and they think that's just normal. But it's not normal. That chronic fatigue, that stubborn belly fat, that constant craving for sugar and carbs, those are your body's warning signals. Your body is trying to tell you something is wrong, and if you don't listen, the consequences go far beyond just feeling a little sluggish. Uncontrolled blood sugar is one of the leading drivers of heart disease, kidney failure, nerve damage, and early cognitive decline. The American Diabetes Association estimates that diabetes costs the United States over $327 billion every single year in medical bills and lost productivity. And what's the number one advice most people get? Eat less sugar, exercise more, take medication. But here's the point almost no one talks about. There are natural compounds that have been scientifically studied to support healthy blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and protect your metabolic health. And one of the most powerful ones is a spice that's been used for over 4,000 years. Cloves. Those tiny dark buds that you might use once a year when you cook a holiday ham. Those same cloves that are sitting in your spice cabinet right now could be one of the most underrated health tools you've never used consistently. Now, before we go further, I want you to think about something. Have you ever noticed that after a big meal, you feel completely wiped out? Like your body just wants to shut down and take a nap? Or have you noticed that you get really irritable and shaky if you haven't eaten for a few hours? Those are classic signs that your blood sugar is swinging up and down like a roller coaster. And when your blood sugar spikes and crashes repeatedly, day after day, it does real damage to your body over time. Think of your bloodstream like a highway. When everything is flowing smoothly, nutrients get delivered to your cells efficiently, your energy stays stable, your brain stays sharp, your mood stays even. But when blood sugar spikes, it's like a massive traffic jam. Everything backs up. Your cells start getting damaged, inflammation builds up, and your pancreas, the organ responsible for producing insulin to manage that sugar, it gets exhausted trying to keep up. This is where cloves come in, and the science behind them is genuinely remarkable. Cloves are one of the highest antioxidant foods ever measured. Their ORAC score, which stands for Oxygen Radical Absorbance Capacity, is higher than almost any food on the planet. But beyond the antioxidants, cloves contain a compound called eugenol. Eugenol is a powerful anti-inflammatory agent that has been studied extensively for its ability to reduce oxidative stress in the body. And when it comes to blood sugar, research published in peer-reviewed journals has shown that cloves can help improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your cells become better at actually using the insulin your pancreas produces. One study found that consuming cloves was associated with significant reductions in fasting blood sugar levels, triglycerides, and LDL cholesterol. Another study showed improvements in insulin function in participants who incorporated cloves into their daily routine. But here's what really blew my mind. Cloves also contain a compound called nigericin, and researchers have been studying nigericin because of its potential role in supporting healthy pancreatic beta cell function. Those beta cells are the ones in your pancreas that actually produce insulin. When they're damaged or exhausted, your entire metabolic system suffers. Supporting those cells could make a significant difference in long-term metabolic health. And that's just the beginning of what cloves do. Stay with me because the full list of what happened to my body after 7 days of chewing cloves every morning is going to surprise you. Let me tell you about Margaret. Margaret is a 54-year-old school teacher from Ohio. She came to me 3 years ago completely defeated. She had been told by her doctor that her A1C was in the pre-diabetic range. Her fasting blood sugar was regularly running between 115 and 125, and she was 22 pounds overweight. She had tried cutting carbs, she had tried intermittent fasting, she had tried walking 30 minutes every day, and she was seeing some improvement, but it wasn't enough. Her energy was still terrible. She was waking up at 3 in the morning and couldn't get back to sleep. She was craving sugar constantly, and she felt like her body was working against her, no matter what she did. Margaret started adding 2 cloves to her morning routine, chewing them slowly before her breakfast, not as a replacement for anything she was already doing, but just as an addition. After 4 weeks, she went back to her doctor. Her fasting blood sugar had dropped from an average of 122 down to 97. Her triglycerides had improved. She had lost 6 pounds without changing anything else about her diet. And the thing she told me that struck me the most was that her afternoon energy crash, the one that had been hitting her like a wall every single day at 2 o'clock for years, it was gone. She said she felt more even, more steady throughout the day than she had felt in over a decade. One small, consistent habit. One tiny spice. A completely different experience in her body. Now, I want to be very clear about something. Cloves are not a cure for diabetes. They are not a replacement for medication if your doctor has prescribed medication. What I'm sharing with you today is based on real scientific research and real personal experience, and it's meant to empower you with information so you can have smarter conversations with your healthcare provider. But the evidence supporting cloves as a metabolic support tool is genuinely compelling, and most people have never heard about it. And that's exactly why I needed to make this video. Back to what actually happened during my 7 days of chewing cloves every morning. I want to walk you through this day by day because I think it's important for you to have realistic expectations. On day 1, honestly, the most notable thing was the taste. If you've never chewed a whole clove before, it's intense. It's warm, it's almost spicy, it's deeply aromatic, and it creates this numbing sensation on your tongue and gums. That numbing effect is actually the Eugenol at work, the same compound that dentists used historically to treat tooth pain. By the end of day 1, I noticed that my post-lunch energy crash, which I experience almost every single afternoon, was noticeably less severe. I wasn't ready to call it a pattern yet, but I noticed it. By day 3, something interesting was happening with my appetite. I wasn't as hungry between meals as I usually am. For context, I'm someone who typically gets a strong urge to snack around 10 in the morning and again around 3 in the afternoon. Both of those urges were significantly quieter. Research actually supports this. Cloves have been shown to affect hunger signaling pathways, and when your blood sugar is more stable, you naturally experience fewer hunger spikes throughout the day. By day 5, I noticed that my mornings felt different. I'm a person who has always needed about 45 minutes to really feel awake and functional after I get out of bed. By day 5, that morning fog was lifting faster. I was feeling clearer and more alert sooner after waking up. And by day 7, I got my blood glucose tested. My fasting blood sugar, which had been running around 104 to 108, which is technically in the high normal range, came back at 94. Now, 1 week is not enough time to draw sweeping conclusions, and I want to be careful not to overstate what that means. But in combination with how I felt, the reduction in afternoon crashes, the improved morning clarity, the quieter appetite between meals, something was clearly shifting in the right direction. And that experience is exactly what led me to dig deeper into the research and ultimately to make this video for you. Now I'm going to tell you the right way to actually do this, because how you take cloves matters enormously. Most people who try cloves do it completely wrong, and then they wonder why they're not seeing results. First, the timing. The best time to chew cloves is in the morning, ideally before or with your breakfast. This is when your body is transitioning out of its fasting state and is about to process the first glucose load of the day. Having cloves in your system during that window appears to support a more stable blood sugar response to your morning meal. Second, the quantity. 2 to 3 whole cloves is the sweet spot. More is not better here. Cloves are extremely potent, and consuming large quantities can actually cause irritation to your stomach lining, and in rare cases can have blood-thinning effects that could be a concern if you're on certain medications. Third, how you chew them. You want to chew them slowly and thoroughly, letting the oils release gradually in your mouth. Don't swallow them whole, and don't grind them up into a powder and swallow them quickly. The slow chewing process is important for allowing the eugenol and other compounds to be absorbed through the mucous membranes in your mouth, as well as through digestion. Fourth, consistency. Like almost everything in health, cloves don't deliver dramatic results from 1 or 2 uses. The studies that showed meaningful improvements in blood sugar markers were conducted over periods of weeks and months. You need to make this a daily habit to see the full benefit. And fifth, quality matters. Buy whole cloves, not pre-ground clove powder, which loses potency rapidly after grinding. Look for organic whole cloves if you can, and store them in an airtight container away from light and heat to preserve their active compounds. Let me tell you about one more person before we get to the warnings. His name is David. David is a 61-year-old retired firefighter from Texas. David had been a type 2 diabetic for 8 years when his daughter, who follows this channel, told him about cloves. David was skeptical. He told his daughter that he had been managing his condition for 8 years and he didn't need some internet spice remedy. But she kept sending him information, and eventually he decided to try it for 30 days alongside his existing medication and diet plan with his doctor's knowledge and approval. After 30 days, David went in for his regular checkup. His fasting blood sugar had dropped enough that his doctor reduced the dosage on one of his medications. His inflammation markers had improved. He had lost 8 pounds. And perhaps most meaningfully to David personally, the nerve pain in his feet, which had been bothering him for years and which he had been told was just something he would have to live with, had become noticeably less severe. David called his daughter and told her she was right. He's been chewing 2 cloves every morning for over a year now, and he says it has become as automatic as brushing his teeth. He's not off his medication entirely. He's not claiming cloves cured his diabetes, but he is living with measurably better numbers and significantly better quality of life, and he gives cloves a meaningful part of the credit. Now here's the part of the video I want you to pay very close attention to, because I've talked about the benefits, but I need to talk about the things that can go wrong, the situations where cloves may not be right for you, and the mistakes that can turn a helpful habit into a harmful one. The first warning is about blood thinners. Eugenol, the primary active compound in cloves, has natural anticoagulant properties. This means it can thin the blood. If you are taking warfarin, aspirin therapy, or any other blood-thinning medication, please talk to your doctor before adding cloves to your daily routine. The combination could potentially increase your bleeding risk. This is not common, and it's not something to panic about, but it's something you absolutely need to discuss with your healthcare provider. The second warning is about pregnancy. Cloves in culinary amounts are generally considered safe during pregnancy, but chewing whole cloves daily as a supplement is a different level of intake, and the compounds in cloves, particularly eugenol, can stimulate uterine contractions in higher amounts. If you are pregnant, please avoid this practice and consult your obstetrician. The third warning is about liver health. High doses of eugenol have been shown in some studies to have hepatotoxic effects, meaning they can stress the liver in excessive amounts. 2 to 3 cloves per day is a safe level for most healthy adults, but if you have existing liver disease or liver enzyme abnormalities, please talk to your doctor before starting. The fourth warning is about children. Do not give whole cloves to children to chew. Their smaller body size makes them much more sensitive to concentrated plant compounds, and the intense numbing effect of cloves could be concerning in young children. The fifth enemy is inconsistency. The biggest mistake I see people make with natural health strategies like this is they try something for 3 or 4 days, they don't notice a dramatic transformation, and they quit. Cloves are not a drug with an immediate pharmacological effect. They are a food compound that works gradually to support your metabolic systems. Give it at least 30 days of consistent daily use before you evaluate the results. And the sixth enemy is isolation. Chewing cloves every morning is a powerful addition to a healthy lifestyle, but if you're eating a diet full of ultra-processed foods, not sleeping, not moving your body, and managing high chronic stress, 2 cloves every morning are not going to overcome all of that. Think of cloves as one powerful tool in a full toolkit, not a magic solution that makes everything else irrelevant. Here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to go to your kitchen. Not after the video. Right now in your mind, locate your spice cabinet. Think about whether you have cloves in there. Millions of American households do. And if you do, I want you to make a decision today to try this for 30 days. Not because I told you to, not because of a commercial or an advertisement, but because the research supports it, the case studies are compelling, and the only thing you have to lose is a few minutes of your morning and the cost of a spice jar that probably already costs less than $3. Your blood sugar stability affects everything. It affects your energy levels, your mental clarity, your mood, your weight, your sleep quality, your cardiovascular health, and your long-term risk for some of the most serious chronic diseases that are devastating American families right now. And if there is a simple, inexpensive, natural tool that can support better blood sugar regulation, and you don't even try it, that's a choice you're making with your health. I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments right now, have you ever tried cloves for health? What has your experience been? And if you have a family member who is struggling with blood sugar issues, with energy crashes, with weight they can't lose no matter what they try, please share this video with them today. Not because I need the views, because they need this information. Because the pharmaceutical industry has no financial incentive to tell people that a $3 spice jar might help support their metabolic health. That's why videos like this exist. That's why this community exists, to share real information that actually helps real people. If this video gave you something valuable today, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel. We put out research-backed health content every single week, designed for people who want to take their health seriously without spending a fortune. And in our next video, we're going to talk about another common kitchen ingredient that has been shown in multiple studies to have a remarkable effect on blood pressure. And I promise you, it's not what you're expecting. You are not going to want to miss that one. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of your body. It's the only one you have. And remember, sometimes the most powerful changes come from the smallest, simplest habits. See you in the next one.